How much short covering you think is really going to come in if that... What's up, everybody? Hope you had a great trading day. So we're going to get into this. Got 5 ideas that we need to look at. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. They're reversal setups more than anything. So if you're not interested in reversal setups, you're not going to be really interested in this. There's nothing really breaking out that looks that enticing, but that might be why some of these reversals start to work. Stay to the end because I want to go through the indexes. And yesterday I introduced a new indicator, and we're going to go through that again and just take a snapshot. It's at one of the lowest readings in 10 years. So I think it's important to focus on. Now, let's get right into it. Apple. This is a long-legged doji. Why is that important? It's important because it signifies uncertainty. What I like about it is how long it is. It is super long for a bar like this. Like, it's very rare you're going to see something like this. But let me just show you where we're going. So this is a $2.5 trillion company that on no news, no nothing today moved about 5%. No news, no nothing after coming all the way down. So after the gap down, you would expect to either fill back up, which we went to the close, came all the way back down. Why is this important? Because that means that we're getting to the point where we're uncertain on what we're going to do. I'm not saying that we're going to reverse and we're just going to run right back to the highs. Let's be really clear what I'm saying here. I'm looking for signs that we might bottom. One clear sign is exhaustion of selling. If we come across here and we look at this sell bar today and we see the height of that sell bar and we come across, we have to go all the way back to about here to see anything like this, okay? And that was March 4th, 2021 when we saw that. And you can see right in that area, what did that do? That formed a bottom, very similar to something that we're looking at here, although this is straight down and we're all aware that straight down is not a pattern. So what I would do is I would focus on these levels. Now, this is how I would play this tomorrow. If you already are leaning one way or another, that's fine. Continue to lean that way. But here's what I would suggest. You're in a downtrend. No, there's no question about it. But at the end of the day, note this. At the end of the day, let me get rid of that anchored VWAP. And we're going to get rid of these lines. And all I want to do is show you just regular VWAP. So now, here we are on a 15-minute. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this one because I think it's pertinent for, it's a general sense of what the leaders are doing. So we're not hitting higher highs, right? We're all aware of that. If we keep going all the way back to, we're lower highs. We're having some rallies, but we're really not doing much. We're seeing buying at the end of the day, but we did get over VWAP at the end of the day. So is that something? Maybe it is. We've done it not really that often towards the end of the day. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens tomorrow, but this is how you should play this, or how I will be playing it. I will assume that we're going to come back down and retest this level, but that doesn't mean that we are. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to watch these 2 lines right here. So you're going to want to watch, and I'll give you them. You're going to want to watch the 142.58 level, and you're going to want to watch the 142.84 level. Watch those 2 levels tomorrow and see exactly how you open. If you gap over one and then break the close, just blow the trade out. But if you go the other way with it early on and you gap up and you go and then you use the close as your stop, this could complete a pattern. This could complete this, and that can give us the opportunity to get up to this level, which would take us to about 155. So it is possible that we're setting up for a bounce. Again, straight down is not a pattern. So just keep that on your radar. Now, Affirm, I expected to blow up. You know, man plans, God laughs. So what happened today was that it just didn't blow up. The earnings were not that bad. They were in line. But the fact that they're in line, let's move that to that exact level, 25.60. But what we want to see, I want to see if we can get up to this level and we can get through that. So if we can do that, that would be very interesting tomorrow. You'll see a lot of money come into this name if that happens tomorrow. If you can get over 25.60, watch that level tomorrow. Because between Peloton and what we saw happen with Amazon, we expected this to come in. It did not do that. Look at it after hours. Earnings were in line. They weren't great. I mean, it wasn't a great report, unless they really screwed up the conference call, which at the time of filming this, there was no conference call. But you want to watch these 15-minute bars. That's usually what I do. If I'm going to be in this a little bit longer and I'm going to try to see if there's a reversal pattern, I'll watch these 15-minute bars. If I break out of this on the 23.50 after hours, that might be something that I even play and try to hold into tomorrow. and see if I have a gap up off the open. So that's one way to play it. The other way to play it is watch this 25.60. I'm not so sure you're going to roll back tomorrow. I'm not so sure you're heading that way with this. I think you would have rolled back already, and you just don't seem to be doing that. Unless something comes out on this conference call and they really screw up the conference call, I think that you're going higher. So watch this 23.50 after hours, and tomorrow I would certainly be watching this 25.60 level and seeing if you can clear that. Because if you can, this could get squeezed. Reminder, that's what we saw today. We saw the squeezes. The squeezes are on. Okay, we saw that with CVNA. It gave us a great way to short today. If we take a look at these, just use the same levels, right? So let's get rid of this VWAP because that's not relevant. But look at how you respect the 8. We got right to the 8 after they stopped it. Look at all that short covering. How much short covering you think is really going to come in if that goes and makes a higher high? Same thing can happen with Affirm. So they're the kinds of moves that we have to look for, and they're the kinds of things we have to pay attention to. Now, this is a reversal. And you have to understand something about reversals. Reversals can either be short term or you could take a shot at it for long term, but reversals usually don't work. So the probability of this trade working is not great, but it's worth noting a couple things. So the first thing that to me that's worth noting is look at that volume going across. So let's just kind of zoom out on that so you can see where we're going here. So there you're on the volume. Now, look, here and here. So this is only the second time, okay, since November. So in a year and a half, this is the highest volume. And look where you did it. So you're setting up here a little bit, and I think it's worth paying attention to. So if I can flip this level, I might be able to get back to the top of this. So all I'm really looking for is to flip 105 and see what happens. This could have been a lot worse, and frankly, it wasn't. This caught today and closed up over the open, which is interesting because we haven't been doing that. Let's get rid of this pre and post data, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So we haven't been setting up like this at all. Here's your open, okay? Came down, tried to break the low, couldn't do it. Held, tried again, couldn't do it. Been a long time since you've seen a stock like this just all of a sudden go sideways. So let's see if we can break through that 104.97 tomorrow. And if you can, again, you're looking for a short-term trade up and in, and then you're just basically looking for around 5 points and see what you get from there. That's all you're looking for out of this, unless you want to try and stay in longer. But you're trying to catch a bottom. It usually doesn't work, but you can see how these hammers could catch a short-term bottom, right? That hammer caught one here. So you want to kind of look for that, and you want to look for patterns that exist and see if you can play with them. This is a reversal. So this SARK is a reversal, and it's worth noting because it's obviously high growth. It's tied to ARK. And once again, you have the Kramer effect in. So he was out bashing her today. Probably because he's bashing her, that might actually mark the bottom of this for a short period of time. But that is a bearish engulfing here. This body has completely encompassed that body. So I would not be in a position where I would be long this any longer, for one, and I would start looking at this. Okay, we don't know if this is going to hold, if it's not going to hold, but look at that volume today. Look at the volume on this. Okay, so anybody that's been short this, let's just kind of zoom out. You have all these different ETFs right now. You've never had volume like this. You've never had that volume. And this is a reversal bar. So I really think you should look at this, and this could bounce. I'm trying not to laugh when I'm saying it because it's just been a disaster. But this could, right, this is the 2X ETF for TARK. So watch this tomorrow and watch for signs of life. Watch for a higher high, which you have not had. If you get one, this is a really simple trade. So just take a look at it tomorrow. Keep it on your radar. Again, we're looking for reversals. So the probability of these working are a lot slimmer. Now, here you are with Exxon. Why is Exxon on the list? Went ex-dividend today. Everybody was waiting to buy this for it to go ex-dividend. Here's your chance. Okay, hammer time. These hammer patterns are really important. You can see the reversal in the hammer between who wanted to own it for ex-dividend and who didn't. And then it just simply traded up today after being down from 83 to 86.32. Flip that hammer tomorrow, and so you're basically looking at getting over 86.38, and I think you're probably going to head back to this XOM. I spent a lot of time on stocks today, but let's just kind of focus on some of these other key things. The Qs, look at that. Could it be a reversal? It's possible. The SPY, okay, hit a support level. Right? Don't tell me support levels don't exist. We went right to it, to the penny. To the penny, we went to this. So they're there. Okay, this obviously rejected its, which is kind of weird. But then the VIX wound up coming down at the end of the day, which is nice. Energy hung in there. Okay, formed a hammer. And look at what's going on with the SOX. You're holding. So I'm not saying that, and I'm going to go through one indicator with you right now, but I'm not saying that you need to be rushing into this, but you held today. You didn't have to hold today. And you're at historical lows, and I'm going to show you in a moment that. But the bond market's working, so people are able to buy bonds. So I would just be really careful of this, because Bill Miller even came out and said that he got a margin call because of it. Be really careful with Bitcoin and chasing any of these names. So if they're blowing out of their crypto stocks because of margin calls, he's not going to be the only one. That's for sure. So just be aware of this. I do think that this still has the potential to get to 24 and possibly 20. I don't think this trade is over on the downside yet. That's just my opinion. Now, let me just show you this real quick. Now, this is called T2108, and I showed this yesterday, and I just want to point this out. Yesterday, the low reading was a 12. Today, the low on this was a 9. Now, to put that in perspective, just so you can understand, look at where that line is going straight across on a 9, okay? Pandemic levels, 2018 crash, right when that came down. I mean, you can see how rare it is. If you put this on the weekly, okay, you'll see it a lot more. But even this level that we're at right now, if you just take a look, you've only been at this level since 95. You've only been here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably about 12 times since the 90s. So this is a historic level, and it's really showing that we're oversold. That does not mean that you miraculously bounce, but it does mean that over time we might start putting in a bottom. You know, when you get to a point where the percentage of stocks above their 40-day moving average is in single digits, you're really oversold. So keep that in mind, and that's why we're probably not seeing them drop as fast. That's it. That's all I have. Everybody have a great evening and trade to win tomorrow. Time frame. We are going to be using a 2-minute time frame. If you're not familiar with this, every trading platform has a 2-minute time frame. You just have to go in and change your settings. We are going to use a 2-minute time frame because based upon the movement of algorithms and high frequency traders, the 1 minute has entirely too much noise now. As always, we have to adapt to what is going on around us.